Yeah, okay. Guys, how you doing?
Good. Josh, I wanted to ask, considering how everything has gone this season with COVID, and you guys get this final win, what's it been like? What's the mood in the locker room right now?
And guys, we're excited. This is we talked about it earlier in the week. This is a trophy game, in-state rival. Kind of throw records out the window, and I thought our guys played hard. Didn't always play smart here tonight, but found a way to be on the right side of the scoreboard and just kept competing. And defensively had a bunch of injuries. Before the game, during the game, next man up mentality, and find a way on offense to create enough big plays to be on the right side of it.
Coach, what do you tell the guys after a season like this? It's only 9 games. It had its ups and downs just from the very beginning, dealing with COVID and everything, and how they were able to handle it and go through week to week with no games canceled or postponed. What do you tell the guys?
I mean, you go back 6-7 months, you didn't know when you were going to see your guys again. Unique off season, even when you got a small percentage of them back, they came back in waves. Everything that's gone on in society off the field, we became closer as a football family. Dealt with adversity during the course of the season, multiple different ways, but continued to grow tighter. And for that, we're proud. There's some things that we got to get better at for our future, and we can do that.
Josh, what were your conversations with KZ like this week about potentially playing, and obviously that he didn't? What is the next step in his development to potentially see him on the field?
With KZ, it really has been day by day, week by week, and KZ's in charge of that process. I think that's important. He's as fierce of a competitor as I've ever been around, and very prideful, and wants to be back at 100%. And for that reason, that's why he hasn't suited up yet, and that's been his call. And we're going to continue to help him. It's remarkable what his journey's been, and today was emotional day for me. I can't imagine the feelings that he had coming back into the stadium and on that field. All the work that he's had to put in, and great story of faith and the power of the human spirit. And it's not a complete story yet. He's going to continue on that journey, and when he's ready to play, he'll be out there at 100%.
Josh, when did you find out that you were going to be without Marlon Williams and Otis Anderson, and how did you think your offense performed without those 2 guys on the field tonight?
Otis, we found out the final verdict just late part of the week, and Marlon we knew we wouldn't have early in the week. Next man up mentality. Obviously, we miss those guys. Those are 2 dynamic playmakers. They've done it at a really high level for a long time, and at the same time, next guy comes in and competes and finds a way to make plays.
Coach, would you consider now this to be your last game of the season, or are you open to a bowl game like the Cure Bowl or the Boca Raton Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think this will be the last game of our season.
Coach, it's no secret that UCF has been an explosive offense all season long. Last week, you only had 2 plays for over 20 yards for Cincinnati. This week, you improved that to 10 plays for over 20 yards. Was that a change in the game style and the play calling this week, or just a different tier of defense?
I mean, I think some of it's just execution. We were aggressive in the Cincinnati game too. Just didn't connect on some things that we are maybe accustomed to connecting on, and they are a good defense too. At the same time, tonight our kids competed, played extremely hard. We were not perfect throwing and catching it today either. We can be a lot better and more efficient in that. At the same time, we did create some big plays. Our offensive line did a good job in protection too.
Coach, you mentioned next man up. Jacob Harris had a big night tonight. What in particular did you see that he executed well for the evening?
Hang on, Coach. Sorry, you're muted.
Thought Jacob did a good job working in the middle of the football field tonight, and won some matchups on some safeties and had a bunch of explosive plays. Did a good job catching the football and played extremely hard.
Josh, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but your defense had struggles at times. What was it that USF was able to do to maybe take advantage of some of those mismatches or some of those areas where maybe you guys had some injuries going on?
I thought they won some one-on-one matchups out on the perimeter against some of the corners at times, and the run game got going for a little bit too. Looked like outside zone, hit some vertical seams on them, and some things that we can be better at.
Coach, when you see all the games that have been canceled throughout the season, how much of a victory is it that you guys were able to get in all your games and then, of course, end it with a big victory over your rival?
Yeah, a testament to our players, just taking accountability and protecting themselves, and then the football family too, and that's a really hard thing to do. And just our entire program, players and staff alike, have done a great job, and allowed us to get out there and go play and compete.
Josh, what did you like about your team, the way you guys were able to respond once USF cut it to 7 there and late in the fourth?
I just thought throughout the course of the evening, when adversity struck, they made a play. We were able to respond back in really all three phases of the game. Special teams comes up with the surprise onside, huge play by Kate Sams. Offensively, they cut it to 7, I think, and we respond and go down the field and score. Defensively, creates a turnover short field that flips the game at the end. This is a tough game, man, and I keep competing and playing really hard, and the margins are really small, even in a multiple possession game at the end. It's just they're tight margins, so you just gotta keep playing and keep competing. And for our young players in our program, and there's a bunch of them that are playing a lot of snaps, it's a positive to see them learning those lessons and applying them and competing really hard.
Coach, Dylan threw 30 touchdowns in just 9 games this season. That's pretty impressive. Overall, what impressed you most about his second season, and how would you evaluate his ownership of the offense this season?
Growth was exponential from his first year, just understanding defenses, what we're doing offensively, why we're calling plays, how to attack, control of run game, protections, allowed us to open up some things that we weren't able to do a year ago, just trying to keep him in positive situations and eliminate some of the adverse situations that he may be himself. He's got an ability to change protections and understands them and hot routes, and just a ton of growth. At the same time, he is still got so much more left in him, which is the positive, man. He played, you look at his numbers, pretty remarkable, but the best is yet to come from him. Got a great future.
Coach, Jordan McLeod threw for 404 yards tonight, which is a career high for him since he's been at USF. Was there anything that surprised you about his play, or is he just a good ball player?
I thought they just, they won some one-on-one situations out on the outside that, create some big plays for him. Got a couple rub routes and guys made plays for him. He's a good player.
Josh, if you guys go to a bowl game, will you have Marlon or Otis back for that game, or is this over?
I don't know where we'll be at that point. I wouldn't want to comment on that right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Jacob, this is obviously the stellar game today. Was there something in particular that you were able to take advantage of against USF today?
No, nothing in particular. Just I had an extra extra motivation, just, being in my hometown, being the last game of the season, and it being a trophy game, that's everything you could ask for.
Jacob, can you kind of elaborate more on that? Having a big game here, like I said, it's your hometown. You got 3 touchdowns, went over 100 receiving yards. I mean, it's got to feel good to put up those kind of numbers here in your last game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know I had over 100. I really didn't even focus on that stuff. I was just, trying to, practice what my coaches preach and, just each play one by one, just focus on next play, and that's just been my mentality. I've been trying to keep that mentality as I get towards the end of the season to try to help me progress my game.
Jacob, I remember we talked in the middle of the summer when you were working out with Trey at VR Regents Park, and you were saying about how you guys were following the protocol to a T. What does it mean to you, and what does it say about this program that you guys did not have a game canceled or postponed because of COVID numbers within your program?
That means, our training staff, everyone, coaches, everyone involved, goes above and beyond, following protocol. We always had one entrance in and one entrance out of the building. And, it showed that, we followed those protocols. We did what we were told to do so that we didn't ruin an opportunity to lose a game this season.
Jake, so here you are, you had your big game tonight. Before you it was Traquan Smith, before you it was Gabe Davis, and now it's you as the big receiver in the core. What's it like to be a part of that group and kind of that legacy, for lack of a better word?
It's very humbling. Traquan Smith and Gabe Davis, those are both, very, very well put together wide receivers. Both of them are excelling in the next level in the NFL. I remember, my first game coming to watch USF versus UCF, I want to say 2016. And I remember watching Traquan Smith and, he put a couple touchdowns up that game. And I was just thinking to myself, I want to be able to do that one day. And it's just, it's ironic, I get put in the same situation. But shout out to those guys. They're big inspirations for my game. I try to take a little bit from each of them.
Hey, Jacob, we talked with Jake Hescock the other day. He said he's coming back for another year. You were able to come back for this season. Have you thought about that at all in your next steps after this game, or just focus on the game?
I'm just focusing on the game right now. I'm sure, we'll see what bowl game we're playing in, and then, everything's up in the air from there. But right now I'm just focusing on, what's ahead.
Jacob, obviously you don't know where that bowl game will be, but how important will that bowl game just be for you just to have another game to play?
It's huge. It's another opportunity to get out on that field with my teammates, coaches, the guys that, I put all this hard work in together. So it means everything, just get another opportunity to go hit the field with them.
Jacob, you talked about playing, here in front of your, kind of fans and friends. How many family and friends did you have maybe you're at the game today?
I had around 15 to 20 family and friends here. And that was, that was another big motivation. I didn't want to, have my last college game possibly in Tampa, go out on a bad note. So I had to make sure, I did everything possible to, make sure they were happy.
Well, can you hear me? Jacob, there's a lot of buzz this week about maybe not that KZ would play.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he didn't for his own reasons, but what would it mean to you to see him in the bowl game potentially, or whenever down the road, to come back and play again?
Oh, it'll mean everything. It's not a matter of, if, it's a matter of when he's going to step back on the field, because, I'm sure you guys have seen, the practice clips that hit media and whatnot. He's back to, KZ doing what he does, and he's going to step on that field again. So it'll mean everything, to me, just to see the road he's taken to recovery and his resilience to do that.
Jacob, you play the games that are scheduled, but is it at all odd that you only had 9 regular season games? And how trying of a season was it with everything having to do with COVID and, some uncertainty week to week?
Yeah, it was definitely, a weird year. It was, definitely non-traditional. So, just trying to deal with, everything that's going on with COVID, and, we had to work around a lot of, the stuff that we wouldn't normally have to do. But I would say it's no different than preparing for any other season. We have the same practice schedule, the same mentality going into each game each week. So I would really say the only difference is just taking extra precautions as far as social distancing and, our health. But as far as preparing for the game, we took the same approach.
Jacob, how special was it to celebrate this win, to go on the midfield and take a picture with the trophy again and have it there for another year?
Oh, it was great. I couldn't ask for a better ending tonight. And I'll add that, since I've been with UCF, we've been undefeated against USF so far. So I'll throw that in there.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you.
Hello, how everyone doing?
Hey, Ventavious, congratulations on the win. Obviously, end of the season, trophy game against USF. How good does it feel to know that trophy will reside in Orlando for another year?
It's always feel good to bring back that trophy back to Orlando. We work hard for it. We prepare things like that. So it's always just feel good to bring back into Orlando.
Ventavious, you probably knew you had to do a little bit more today without Otis Anderson here. How did you approach this game knowing that you kind of had to step up without Otis?
It's crazy because Otis, like when he went down yesterday, he hit me up, called me, told me I got to step up, told me play hard, fast and physical, and everything else gonna open up. So it was kind of great to perform at the level I did, but missing Otis kind of was a little rough, but we handled the business.
Ventavious, in that fourth quarter, South Florida narrated to 7 points, 1 touchdown. Obviously, the defense got to stop, but you knew it was on you, that you needed to score, to kind of put them away. What was kind of the mindset at that time period?
Well, I just walked up to the O-line after they scored a touchdown, told them, let's go. When I get in, let's go drive the ball down there, and we're going to go score. And I told them if they give me some good blocks, the rest I'm going to take care of, and which I did.
Ventavious, considering how this season has gone and everything with COVID and the preseason, what does it feel like for you guys to get this win and to wrap up this regular season?
Oh, it's awesome to get this win. Like I said, to bring back the trophy back to Orlando is a great experience. I think ever since I got here, we never lost a trophy. So you're just trying to keep that tradition going and pass it on down to the young bucks for next season.
Thanks, Ventavious.
Appreciate it. Thanks you all for having me.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm sure you knew with Otis being out, you're going to have to pick up a lot more of the workload tonight. What was that like, and what did you guys see from that USF defense?
They were playing with a lot of energy out there today. Honestly, they played with hard. They came to play today, and we just had to take it one play at a time, take what they was giving us, and try to do our best to keep the drives going, keep the game going, and try to get in the end zone.
Greg, obviously this is a trophy game. You guys win again in the series, or even the overall series, and that trophy is going to stay in Orlando. What does that mean to you?
Makes me happy. Get to keep the trophy for a whole 365 days. It lives in our building. Every time we walk in the building, we see it. So it stays there with us.
Greg, on the drive where you score, you handled the ball 5 out of the 6 plays on offense. You basically got a chance to build up a momentum. Kind of walk us through that series and what was going on in your head before you punched it in at the end there.
Honestly, don't really remember the whole job. I just remember the score. It just opened up on the left side, and it was a great block by Jay Flash down the field to hold his man and make sure I got in the end zone. Just a complete team player right there, just to be able to just hold his man.
Greg, you've been a part of 4 War I-4 games in your college career. What's been one of the memories that really stick out to you, one of those special memories over that time?
See, that's a tough question because we had a lot of memorable moments from my first year with Mike Hughes, kickoff return, two years ago. I'm scored like 3 touchdowns, I think. Last year was actually kind of emotional for me, sending AK off, and then this year being able to gut out the win today. So it's just all of them have been memorable.
Greg, USF made it close in the fourth quarter, got within 1 touchdown. Obviously, defense got to stop, and Ventavious was able to punch that in to kind of make the lead a little bit bigger. What was said at that time? What was kind of going through your mind when it looked like the game, USF was maybe coming back a little bit?
We just stayed calm. We knew what we had to do. We knew we had to go down there, score, and take the momentum back. That's all it was. It was no overthinking it, no making it harder than what it was. Just stay fit in what we do, fight for extra yards, and just gut out each play and try to get the win.
Greg, we know this game means a lot to you because of the rivalry. We saw you throw the horns down on the way off the bus today when you got to the stadium. So describe the satisfaction you get by beating USF.
It's a lot of guys over there that are from my hometown. They chose to go there. So, it just makes me happy just to be able to brag to them for another 365. Nobody want to ask me any questions?
I got one, Greg.
Okay.
You guys obviously don't know if there's going to be what bowl game, if you go to a bowl game, might be at. What would you like to play in a bowl game, and if so, what would it mean to you guys to finish off with a bowl win?
It would mean a lot just to finish the season with another trophy, another win. So every game means a lot. Whether it's a bowl game, a rivalry game like today, no matter what it is, it will mean a lot for everybody in that locker room, no matter what kind of game it is.
Hey, Greg, just wondering, is it at all strange to only play 9 regular season games? Like it's, that's it for the regular season. And how unique was this fall with the COVID issues, protecting yourself against COVID? It's something you've never had to deal with before.
Yeah. It was strange having only 9 games, playing such a short season. And then, like you said, this is something that has never happened before, like COVID, and it's certain things you just couldn't do that that you didn't really think about. Just there's a lot of things you didn't do, you couldn't do just so you could protect yourself and be able to play in the games, protect your teammates. So it was a very strange year, but it was sacrifices made by a lot of coaches, players, team support staff, everybody, and we were all willing to make those sacrifices to have this season happen.
Thanks, Greg.
How y'all doing?
Doing great. What's up, Landon? Yeah, I know you're a guy, you're originally from Virginia, so you kind of had to learn about this rivalry a little bit when you got here. Now that you've been in it a little while and you got another win and that trophy's going to remain in Orlando, what does a win in this rivalry mean to you?
It means everything to me. The war on I-4, like you said, I did have to learn a little bit about it before I came down here. But I knew it meant a lot, and my first experience with it was actually watching it from home before I even really committed here, was the Mike Hughes run return, and I knew I wanted to be a part of that when I heard the crowd cheering and everything. It was just crazy, and then experiencing it last year at least with all the fans, this year not so much, but still, big rivalry.
Landon, just describe kind of what this season has been like for you personally, because obviously you play a lot more snaps this year. You've gotten a lot of starts, but also with Randy Charlton no longer here either, you're taking on even a bigger role. So how have you taken on this sort of bigger role this season?
Just like any other situation, when somebody above you goes down, you have to step up and act like you've been there, before, and make sure everything that you've learned from the person above you and from what you've learned knowing by your own, just don't make mistakes and keep playing without really thinking about it.
And then you finished with 3 sacks tonight. What were you seeing out there? Take us through your head out there on the field with just rushing and attacking the quarterback tonight.
Hang on, Landon, you're muted.
Am I good? Okay. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
No problem. I just kind of asked that you were really successful in getting the quarterback to the night. Can you kind of like take us through your mindset on what you were seeing out there on the field that allowed you to get to the quarterback so many times and put constant pressure on the offense?
Well, really, it was just the game plan we came in with. It was stick to the game plan, and you're going to make plays no matter what. So, me being in my position, I just kept my head down, read my visual keys, and made plays.
Landon, can you just kind of talk about, how much you think you've grown this season? I know it was kind of a journey getting here. I know you had to overcome some injuries. Obviously now this looks like you're kind of getting into a groove. Now you're maybe getting more comfortable in the defense and stuff. How much do you think you've grown maybe this season, maybe in the last few games?
I've grown tremendously. Especially coming in 2018, not playing at all, dealing with the injuries, like you said. 2019, playing, a little bit of games. And then really having to step up this year after the unfortunate event with our recent players. It just, like I said before, when your name's called, you got to be ready. And I feel like all the preparation that I've had for the past 3 years has made me ready for this past year we've had.
Landon, obviously you guys get the win, and that's the most important thing. But, USF had about 650 yards of offense, scored a lot there in the second half. What were they doing there in those third and fourth quarters that really gave you guys problems?
It wasn't really anything they were doing, because what they were doing wasn't honestly nothing that we haven't seen before with film and everything. I feel like it was just a little bit communication on our part, just communication within the defense. Like we weren't, that was it pretty much.
Thanks, Landon.
You're welcome. That's it.